Hello guys, today I am going to demonstrate another data analysis task from one of the past paper. So I have already downloaded the source files and also the question paper. So let us, I will provide the link in the description from where you can download uh, these source files as well as the question paper. So that while demonstrating you can practice along, you can follow along, you can follow my lead. So let us start. We are going to do data analysis part from this paper. So I have chosen for this task, I have chosen May June 2017 paper 3 variant 1, and from there we are going to do data analysis part. So let us scroll down all the way down where spreadsheet task starts. So this is task 3 spreadsheet on the page number 6. So they are asking that Tawara Web use spreadsheet to record the hours worked each week and calculate each employee's pay. All currency values are in dollar with two decimal places. Use the most efficient method to create this spreadsheet. So these instructions are basically related to the formatting. So they are saying that wherever you are dealing with the currency, so you have to put a dollar symbol with it, and it should have two decimal places. And one more aspect here, they are referring that you have to use more efficient method. So there can be a multiple ways to do the things. There can be a multiple ways to come to the solution. So you have to choose most efficient method. So we are going to try our best to choose the most efficient method to come to the conclusion to for the solution. So now in step 10, they're asking that open and examine the file 1731 emp.csv in the spreadsheet package. So for that reason, the spreadsheet package is our Microsoft Excel. So let us open this file and analyze this file. So I have these source files, and you can see that here this is 1731 emp.csv file. So I have to open this file. You can see we have to analyze this file. So from here you can see that you can say content of cells are not fully visible. We have to make them visible. So how we make them visible? We always click here on the top, and what you have to do, basically once you click here, it's going to select the entire sheet, and then you have to click between the separation of these two cells, or anywhere, any separation between the between two columns. So once you double click here, you will see that all of this content is organized, and width is adjusted accordingly. So this is very important because you see the content was not fully visible, and a few things were overlapping. Maybe some things were hidden, some content was hidden. So we made it appear, and we have adjusted width of each cell. So let us see what next we have to do. They're saying that save this file as a spreadsheet with the file name 173 emp and your candidate number, for example, like this. So we have to save this file. Remember the file that we have opened right now, this is comma separated values. Fine. So we have to save this file. So click on file, save as, and you have to save it in your work area, the current folder where you're working right now. So always choose this location here, and then you can see that I have to add, if I just zoom in for your visibility. So you can see that I have this file name, and according to the instruction you have to add a candidate number at the end of this file name. So I have already did that. I have written some assumed values, so you can also write assumed values if you don't have a registration number yet, candidate number yet. So down here you will see that this is a comma delimited file. So we have to change this into Excel workbook, because we have to change it into appropriate software format. So right now we are using Excel, so we have to change it into Excel workbook. So now you have to save this file. So we are done with the saving. So now they are saying place your name, center number, and candidate number center aligned in the header of the page. So basically, once there is word appearing header, so it means that we have to insert a header. So click on insert, and under the insert tab, uh, under the text option, there is option of header and footer. So once you click on that, you will see header is added here. At the top is header, and if I just scroll down, you will see that footer is here like this. And you can see that there are three cells: left, center, and right. So we have to deal with the header. So according to their instructions, we have to put your name, our name, center number, and candidate number center aligned in the header. So center aligned they were asking. So I'm just going to put my name here, and let us see the instructions. Yeah, comma. For example, center number and then candidate number. So in this case, I have to write this way. So they were asking that you have to enter your place your name, center number, and candidate number center aligned. So this is center aligned. On the left of the footer, add last edited on. So on the left of the footer, we are done with the header. So we have to go down, scroll down, and here is the footer, and we have to enter a text that last edited on. Fine. So now we have to followed by today's date, automated end time. So here we have to put today's date and time, automated date and time. So for that reason, we have to go to header and footer, and then you can see there is current date and time. So first we have to add today's date and then current time. So we have added this. If I just click outside, you will see that today's date and time has been added. So sorry, I just have to go back to my header and footer. So we are done with the header thing and footer thing. I just made a mistake here. I just have given the space. So the problem here I am facing is that uh, there should be a space in between. So if I just click outside, you can see that now space is visible. So here you have to give space after the date. So once you give that space, you will have this space. So date is added and time is added. Let us do the next step. So we are done up to this point. I'm just going to highlight. So now they are saying merge cells A1 and G1. So up there we have cell A1 to G1. We have to select this, although you can do this in this view in which we have added header and footer, but I prefer to do working in normal view. So to go back to the normal view, you have to select this option down right bottom corner. Fine. So I'm just going to select this option to revert back to the normal view. So you might think that we have added header and footer, but now in this normal view, it's not visible. So in normal view, it is not required that it should be visible, but it should be visible once you take a print. So if I just press Control, use a shortcut key command, Control P for the print command, so you will see that our header and footer is there. So no worries about that. So once we are going to take print, header and footer is going to appear. So in normal view, header and footer is not visible, but that's okay. Next step, that merge cells A1 to G1. So I'm just going to select cells A1 to G1 up to this point, and then under the home tab, merge and centers, click on that, and you will see that these cells are merged together, and the text that was already there is center aligned now. So now we have to do some formatting. So format this merge cell so that text is center aligned. This text is already center aligned with a white 24-point sans serif font. So we have to make this font white, and sans serif they're asking. So sans serif is your Calibri or Arial. So in some papers they might ask you to put a serif font. So remember, serif font is Times New Roman. So in this case, what I'm going to do is to make this size 24. Here we go. But right now I'm not going to make it white, this text white. If I just make it make this text white, this text is going to disappear. But what I am going to do, I'm going to put a dark green background color. So here, so select this, and then you have this bucket tool under the home tab. You just select the dark green color, so like this. And now I can select the text and I can make it white. So just click on that white. And as they were asking for the sans serif, so Calibri font is already selected. So we don't need to change any to make change. We don't need to make any changes here. So we already by default Calibri is selected. So it is sans serif. Remember, Calibri is sans serif and Times New Roman is serif. So we are done up to this point. So I'm just going to highlight all of these aspects as we are done. Use cell A5 to B14 to create a name range called JC. So we have to select cell A5 to B14. You can see this is A5, and A5 to B14 we have to select this entire range, and then we have to create this as name range. So to create this as a name range, we have to right click, and then there is option of define name. So in define name, I'm just going to put capital JC. According to the instructions, we have to create a name range. So this name range is called JC. So I'm just going to name it as capital JC. Then they are saying take screenshot evidence of creation of this name range and place this in your evidence document. So for that reason, what you can do, you can use command shift Windows Shift S, Windows Shift S to take a screenshot of this, and you can put it in your evidence document. Fine. So right now I'm not going to put it in evidence document. I'm just going to make this range as I'm going to name this range as JC. So just click OK. So you can see in the name box, this entire range is JC. If I just click outside, now the cell D9 is selected, and if I just select this entire range, you will see that this entire range is called as JC. Okay, we are done up to this point. Okay, I'm just going to highlight these as well, these points as well, because we are done. Okay, in D18, enter a function to look up the job description of the employee. So this is very important part of this task, that you have to look for job description for this employee in D18. So this is the cell, you can see D18. We have to look for this Henry Gale, the job description, and you see that job code is there, and job code is here as well. So based on X, you see, if I just look for this value from this table, this JC range, you will see uh, X is somewhere here. X is here, and this person is junior web developer. So what I am going to do, I will look for this X value from this name range, and I will return the value junior web developer here for Henry Gale. Fine. Same goes for this other person, and it is also for X. And if we talk about P, we are going to look for P, and you will see that P is for PHP programmer. So here we are going to use lookup function. So we are going to use vertical lookup. Vertical lookup, we are going to basically looking up for a value. So I'm just going to write VLOOKUP, and you from here, from this on-screen help, you can look up. Here it is indicated. Now you have to put a lookup value. So I'm looking for this value X, and then you can see that we have to put a comma here, and then you can choose a table array. So in this case, our table array, I can just select this, and this JC is indicated here because this entire range was called as JC. And then what is your column index, from which column I should be returning the value? So you can see this job code is first column and job description is second column. So it is going to look for X from first column, and uh, it's going to give the corresponding value for X from second column. So that's why I'm going to put index number as 2. And then what you want, approximate match or exact match. So obviously I want exact match. I can write false, or either I can write 0. So once I'm going to write, you will see that it has returned as junior web developer. So right now this junior web developer is not visible because this name is a bit lengthy and the width of this cell is not adjusted accordingly. So to adjust the width of this cell, what I'm going to do, I will click in between the separation of these two columns D and E, double click here. So it's going to be automatically adjusted. So we are done with this formula. In G18, enter a formula to calculate the pay for this employee. This will look up the rate of pay from the pay rates table and multiply it by the number of hours worked. This formula must include an absolute range and two relative references, and must not include named range. So there are three very important aspects that we have to consider from this statement. First thing is that obviously we have to look from the pay rates table. So they have asked that you have to use one absolute range and two relative referencing. Here, if I just tell you that this JC, the name range that we created is basically now absolute because this is called JC. But here they are asking that you are not allowed to use any name range. Fine. So first of all, we have to calculate in G18. We are going to calculate the pay rate. So for the pay rate, we are going to use a pay code. Fine. So you can see that we have this small table here. So we are going to use this table. So for example, Henry Gale has pay code A. So pay rate is for Henry Gale is going to be 15. So I'm going to, based on my pay code, I should be returning the value 15. So how I am going to return this value? I'm going to use again VLOOKUP. So here I go. I am looking for which value? I am looking for pay code. And then what is my table array? This time my table array is this one. And then what is your column index 1 and 2? So as I am returning value, I am looking for pay code ABCD, but I am going to return a corresponding value from pay rate. So pay rate table is 1 and 2, second column. Fine. So I'm just going to write 2, because you see some students get confused. They count from first, second, third, and fourth. No, not like that. You just have to select the column number from the selected range. So this pay code is first column, and pay rate column, pay rate is second column. So I want to retrieve the value from second column, and then I want exact match. So in this case, I'm just going to write 0 or false. So press enter. We are not done yet, because we just have calculated the pay rate, but we have to multiply this pay rate with the work hours worked according to the instructions. So press enter. So we are done up to this point. Now I'm just going to replicate it downwards up to this uh, few values to show you the problem with this formula that we have applied. So if I just replicate down here, you will find, if I just double click here, some values are not available. So there is a problem with this entire thing that we made. So if I just double click here, you will see that we have pay code and hours worked. That's fine. Uh, so at this spot, the formula is correct. But if I just go down, you will see that two cells are relatively moving down, and this range is also relatively moving down. And you see that in this case, in for the second cell, you see A is has been skipped. Same goes if I just double click here, you will see that now A, B, both of them are skipped. Double click here and you see A, B, C, three of them are skipped. So the problem here we need to fix is that we need to make this range fix. So how we are going to make that fix? First of all, we have to make amendments in the first formula, so that once our first formula is correct, then we can replicate downwards, so everything is going to work correctly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this. I'm just going to zoom in for a while. So this cell, this range D5 to E8, I'm just going to select this, and I'm going to use F4 key to make this, sorry, F4 key to make this fix. Fine. So F4 key is very important. And according to the instructions, if you have followed that instruction, they were asking that your formula should contain one absolute reference and two relative references. So in this case, we made this range as absolute, and two, uh, you can say two of these are relative referencing, pay code and hours work. We are not making them fix, because we want them to move down. Fine. So press enter, you will see. And if I just replicate down, you will see now it's working fine. If I double click here, you will see these two cells are relatively moving down, and this entire range is fixed. So you can see, yeah. So now our cell, our formula lookup function is working properly. Now they are saying that we are done with this step. This was very important. Replicate the formula from step 13 to 14 for all employees. So 13 to 14 we have to replicate. So for the step 13 we have did for job description. I'm just going to scroll it all the way down to this point, and you will see all of the cells are populated with correct value. And same goes here. I'm just going to select up to this point, and here we go with this one as well. Okay, we are done up to this point. We have replicated this formula. In cell F60, enter a function to calculate average number of hours worked by employees. Display this to the nearest whole number. So in F60, we have to calculate average hours worked. So For that reason, it's very easy. Equal to, we are going to write average, and average work hours. For work hours worked, we have this entire range. We have to select entire range up to this point and then bracket close, press enter. But they are asking that you have to round it to nearest whole number. So for that reason, I'm going to use round function. And once you use the round function, you have to specify number of digits. So I want it to round to nearest whole number. Okay, we are done up to this point. So I'm just going to highlight this as well. In cell G61, enter a function to calculate total weekly wage. In G61, total weekly wage. So I'm just going to use equal to sum, and then we have uh, yeah. So we just have to select this entire range up to this point and then press enter. So this is our weekly total. Okay, now we are done up to this point. I'm just going to highlight this as well. Apply appropriate formatting to the spreadsheet. So wherever there is a currency, you have to apply the particular, you have to apply the appropriate formatting. So if you remember, I for the first step, I told you that this first instruction is very important. This has to do something with the formatting. So according to those instructions, wherever there is a currency, you have to put a dollar symbol in two decimal places. So for that reason, first of all, you see I have this pay. So I'm just going to select this entire range, right click, click on format cell, and there is option of currency, and two decimal places symbol is dollar. So it's fine. We are just going to click OK. And then same goes for this one as well. So what I can do, just use format painter. So and I just can apply formatting here as well. And same goes here, weekly total. So I'm just going to click format, use the format painter, and click here as well. So you can see that two decimal places with dollar symbol, we are okay to go. Okay, so we have applied appropriate formatting. I'm just going to highlight this as well. Save and print the spreadsheet showing the formula and make sure it is landscape orientation. It fits in the single page wide. The row and column headings are displayed. The content of cells are fully visible. So first thing first, you have to show all of the formula. So for that reason, you have to go to formula tab, and there is option of show formulas. So click on that, and all of the formulas are going to be visible here. But one thing, you have to be very careful. You can see that in the pay column, all of the formula is not visible. So what I can do, select this entire sheet and double click on the separation, and now everything is adjusted, and you can see all of the formulas are visible now. Now they said that page layout should be landscape. So right now page layout is portrait. We have to change it into landscape. We are done with landscape. Okay. Now they're saying that it fits on single page wide. So if I just press Control P, so you can see that this entire, it is having 4 pages, but they're saying that it should fit on single page wide. So as they said that single page wide, it means that your all of the columns should fitting in one page. Fine. No matter how many page it takes, but the columns, all of the columns should all of the fields, labeled fields, should be in should fit in one page wide. So for that reason, you have to go to the scaling, and you have this option, fit all columns on one page. So you can see all of the columns. If I just use this option, so it means that all of the content is going to fit on one page. But here it is going to fit all the columns on one page, and no matter downwards it's going to take 2 pages or 3 pages, but all of the columns are going to be in one page. So if I just show you, you will see that all of the columns are in one page and it is taking entire 2 pages. And next step is that we did with the it should be fit in single page wide. The row and column headings are displayed. So for that reason, we have to go to the page setup, and there is option of sheet, and row and column headings. We are going to make them visible. You can see these column headings are there, row headings are there. So we are done up to this point, and all of the content, as I double clicked between the separation between two columns, and everything was organized. Now you can take the print of this one. Now in step 20, print the spreadsheet showing the values. Make sure it is uh, portrait orientation. It fits on single page. Here, see, there is a difference. In first one, they said that it should fit in a single page wide, but still you can say it's taking 2 pages. Fine, but the columns are fit in one single page. But here, the criteria is given that all of the content should be in one page. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So first of all, we have to go back, because they are asking us to show the values now, not formulas. So I just have to deselect the formulas. And one more thing, you can see once you deselect, again all of the content is not visible. So to make it visible, select the entire sheet, double click, and you will see all of the content is visible now. And then page layout orientation should be portrait. So I made it portrait, and then I have to do Control P. You will see that this is taking 2 pages, but they said that all of the content should be visible in one page. So here I'm just going to select on option of scaling, and there is option fit sheet on one page. So click on that. So all of your content is going to be visible on one page. So they are saying that rows and column headings are not displayed. So I'm just going to go to page setup and go to sheet and deselect this option, row and column headings. Now the column row and column headings are not visible. Now all of the content of our sheet is visible, and then we are going to take print of that. Now a few more things that we need to do. We have to go back, and now in this view they are asking us hide row 3 and 15 inclusive. So 3 to 15, I have to select all of the rows here, and then right click, and there is option of hide. So we have hidden all of these rows from 3 to 15. Hide row 60 and 61. So there are two rows, this one 60 and 61. Select these and also hide them. We are done with hiding of these two. I'm just going to select this. Now what I am going to do, they're saying extract only employees where the job description includes developer and who work more or less than their contracted hours. So this is very tricky part for this task. First of all, they're asking that only show the values which having the description. For example, here we just have to show web developer wherever there is developer there. For example, there is a junior front-end developer, junior web developer, web developer. These content should be visible, not JavaScript or programming. For that reason, we are going to apply filter. So we have to go to home. There is option of filter. Click on that, and then there is job description. We have to apply filter on that. So click on here, and then there is option of text filter, and it contains developer. So I'm just going to write word developer. Fine. So just verify the spell. There should not be any spell mistake. So wherever the word is developer, contained developer in here, it's going to give us those values. So click OK. You will see all of the uh, job description with wording developer is here. And you can see there were PHP developer, JavaScript programmer, they are all excluded. Now, very important aspect to remember that now they're asking that show us only those people who work more or less than their contracted hours. More or less. Fine. So contracted hour is 10 and he worked uh, 10 hours. So we have to exclude these two. Fine. This one we have to exclude as well, because more or less we have to find the values those are more or less. In this case you could see web developer, this web developer has more or less. Basically you can say contracted hours are 25 but he worked 28, it means more hours worked. So for that reason what I am going to do, I am going to filter this data out. So 10 I am going to filter it out, 12 I am going to filter it out, 20 I am going to filter it out. You will see that this is the data that I want to filter it out. Now I can filter 25 as well, but I'm not going to filter it out. If I just filter out for example, so just click here, you will see that we are left with no data at all. The problem here that we are facing is that some of the values with 25 or you can say are different. Fine. So we cannot remove those. So what we are going to do, we are going to remove those from here. So just click 25. So now you will see that what else is equal to. So 40 is equal. So I'm just going to select 38, 40, and you will see that now we have those values which are more or less than their contracted hours. So you can see that first value, web developer value, what Western has contracted hour of 25 but it has worked more hours, so 28 hours. Fine. So less hours, more hours, less hours, and sort of thing. So we have extracted all of these values that are required. Sort this data into ascending order of name. So we have to sort this data now. So uh, ascending order of name, A to Z. Fine. So just click here. I have to sort the data into ascending order of name. So yeah, so here I have to click and you will see A to Z, ascending order. So you can see A to Z. Print only this extract showing values. Make sure print outfits in a single page. Content all fully visible. So my content is fully visible. I just need to take print of this and it should be in one page. Fine. So that's fine. I just can take a print of this. That would do the job. So here up to this point I just have to highlight. So print sure, we have to save the print of your evidence document and take a print of your evidence document. So that is it for this Microsoft Excel part. Although last part was a bit trickier, but you will get to know once you do the practice. So what you have to do, I will provide a link in the description of this video from where you can download the source files and the question paper. So you download those source files and question paper and do the practice of this paper. Hopefully it's going to make sense for you. So that's it for today. Thank you.